The United States has announced it will immediately lift the pause on intelligence sharing and resume security assistance to Ukraine, according to a joint statement released by the US State Department. This development marks a significant shift in Washington's support for Kyiv as efforts to broker peace intensify. Meanwhile, Ukraine has stated that it is ready to accept a US backed 30-day interim ceasefire following today's peace talks. The agreement, which would be extendable by mutual consent, still awaits Russia's approval and implementation. The details of the proposal remain undisclosed, but both Washington and Kyiv have signaled willingness to push forward with negotiations. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is speaking to reporters following talks with a Ukrainian delegation during a visit to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He says the US has made an offer which the Ukrainians have accepted, and I quote, to enter into a ceasefire and enter into negotiations to end this conflict in a way that is enduring and sustainable. End quote. At the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt addressed the ongoing US-Ukraine talks, confirming that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is actively negotiating in Saudi. While Caroline refrained from giving specific details, she said that the White House is receiving positive updates from the talks, raising cautious optimism about a possible breakthrough. However, on the ground in Ukraine, violence continues. 6 people, including 2 children, were killed in Russian attacks on the eastern Donetsk region, and 2 brothers aged 11 and 13 died after Russian shelling hit the village of Ravine, while a 14-year-old boy was wounded. 3 more civilians lost their lives in the town of Siversk, while another Russian drone attack targeted civilian cars, killing 1 person and injuring 2 others, according to BBC. As diplomatic efforts unfold, tensions remain high. The Russian Foreign Ministry has condemned a recent Ukrainian drone strike on the Moscow region, stating that it proves Ukraine is not serious about a diplomatic resolution. In a statement, Moscow claimed the attack was deliberately timed to coincide with the US-Ukraine talks in Saudi Arabia, calling it a sign of total lack of political will from Kyiv. The attack was also seen as a message to the new OSCE Secretary General Feruddin, who is currently visiting Moscow. Despite the escalating situation, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio's office remains very optimistic about the ongoing discussions. Whether the ceasefire proposal gains traction remains to be seen. For now, all eyes are on Jeddah as world leaders await the next steps in this high stakes negotiation. Stay tuned for more updates.